The proof is in the pudding, and the pudding in this case is a football. Booth, eat my goal. The goalie has got football pie all over his shirt.
Simon, welcome to Eat My Goal. It's lovely to see you, mate. And
Thanks, mate.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection to Chippenham.
So obviously my name's Simon. I've been sort of supporting Chippenham for on off sort of 20, 25 years now. Started getting dragged along when I was a kid. Sales and marketing trade for my profession, connection to the club, I suppose, like I say, long-time supporter, and more recently been working with Matt Chappell, Rich Chappell and the media team for delivering the streaming package. So for my sins, I'm the commentator at the moment.
No, I know we were just talking about that earlier, but mate, you do a great job. You and Matt and Rich, you do a fantastic job. It's really top-notch production, mate. It's very good.
Yeah, they do very well. I mean, they've been fantastic helping me out, settling in and stuff, because I like talking about football, of course I do, and you know, with their knowledge in terms of Matt and getting everything from the video side of things, and obviously Jamie Alinsky, who helps him along with that, Richard with the cameras and the photography, it all sort of helps. So they've really helped me sort of settle in.
All you need is a nice sheepskin John Motson coat, mate. It's all you need.
Christmas is just gone, but hopefully Valentine's Day's around the corner. You see, I might get something nice.
Yeah, so start dropping in. Right, mate, here's my ball bag. 5 random.
Very pretty.
FA quality bag this is, mate.
I love it, mate.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is number 29.
Okay.
29. The first question is, it's a personal question. It's a serious one, Simon, so focus.
Go on then.
Who would win in a fight between Batman and Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, got to be, innit? You can blind him.
Why is that?
You can't fight without sight. If he can't see anything coming, if he's got like spider webs, he can cover his eyes up, do what he wants to him.
That's true. I tend to agree with you. I mean, Batman, he's got all his gadgets, but take that.
Batman could probably get you on gadgets, and he's got a lot of help. And he's got Alfred the Butler, he's got Robin, he's got all of those people that can maybe get involved. Spider-Man's a bit more of a loner, but I reckon one-on-one he takes him.
I agree with you, mate. I agree.
Yeah, good stuff.
Maybe that'll be a film one day. Who knows?
I tell you what, if it isn't me and you, we could make that film.
Who would be who though? I'll be fat.
I'll tell you what, I'm a bit too big to fit in any of the lycra, so maybe I can hold the camera and you can find somebody else. I'll be the butler.
Well, next one. It's a good, strong start, Simon. Well done, mate. Number 24.
Okie doke.
2 and 4. Football question. If you could give Mike Cook one piece of advice, what would it be?
Try not to listen to a lot of negativity that can sometimes surround. It's a very difficult and lonely position when you're making those sort of decisions. I think that probably one of the most formative is that every single supporter pays to have an opinion. And I think one of the beautiful things about non-league football is that you can more often than not voice that opinion and in close proximity to the person it's directed at. I think, and you know, one thing that certainly is different from potentially Mike or a Jurgen Klopp or something like that, when you've got, you know, thousands and thousands upon people in the stands at Anfield shouting something towards the dugout, it's very easy to tune out. Yeah. Very different when you've got one person stood less than 2 meters away from you telling you, oh, why are you not making a substitution? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Everyone's a football manager, but he's the one with the responsibility and he's on task doing it for the club. So don't let the negatives in. Focus on his own philosophy. He's done very well since he's come in. I mean, I've seen 6, 7, 8 managers down the years of my time watching Mike's ethos and sort of football values. They really show in the team, speaking to a lot of the lads as well, as I'm quite fortunate enough to do through the media stuff, through the fact it's quite a close knit club. No one's had a bad word to say about the training, about the levels that are going in and how he's interacting with them. So just keep doing what you're doing and don't let any negative stuff seep in.
Yeah, you need a thick skin, don't you, for sure?
Absolutely.
I like Mike. He's a fun guy, actually. He seems to kind of let it wash over him, doesn't he?
Do you know what? I think when he first sort of come to the club, very, very quiet man, kept himself to himself, nice and private, very, very difficult to sort of break down what he was going to do. But as soon as you sort of get past that initial first bit, as soon as he got his feet under the desk, very, very funny bloke, very, very, very he's charismatic personality as well. And obviously through the media stuff and getting to have a nice chat with Mike normally after the game, sometimes beforehand. Very, very knowledgeable bloke.
Yeah,
he opens his mouth and you listen. I can see very much why the players have bought into it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very good, mate. I'll be watching this, mate.
I'm sure I'll send him a message after, make sure he is.
Yeah. Right, number 12. Here we go. Number 12 is it's another football question.
Love it.
Who would you say, in your long experience of 25 odd years at the park, who would you say is the greatest Chippenham Town player ever?
That's difficult. That is. That's difficult. In less than a minute.
Yeah.
I started watching around sort of 1998. So when I first started going along, Charlie Griffin had just moved for big money at the time to Swindon.
Yeah.
Massive money. He just moved to Swindon and he was sort of taking the world by storm. So I kind of missed all of that, where a lot of the guys that settled Kelmer 2-3 years before me would say he probably was the man. Him and Wayne Townsend up front, knocking goals away left, right and centre.
Yeah.
I probably, as an impressionable child, would have to go for Steve Tweddle. He was a centre forward. I was, a young lad playing football, was a little bit thinner then, not so much now, but I was a centre forward myself. I used to love nothing more than watching people knock goals away, and Tweeds was massive in sort of the club's rise from out of the Screwfix up to Dr. Martins, obviously via Wembley, big times for us as supporters, and he was phenomenal. Best technical player at the time as well, in a squad of 15 people that Tommy had put together, that they achieved great things for the club. He was the pin-up boy, he was the one that everyone looked to for the goals. He was everyone's sort of name on the back of the shirt for those who could probably get your replica kits on. He was the man. So yeah, I'd have to go Tweeds. He kind of grew up as my, as I've coming up through football, especially with Chippenham. He was the one that I always kind of was my favourite player.
So it's just a name then. Who would you say is the current squad is the best player? The best player?
Yeah.
Just a name, that's all. You don't have to comment on it.
Brad Ash.
Yeah.
I think he works too hard not to be. I think when he's in the team, he just doesn't stop. And I mean, like I say, when we were coming up the promotion campaign, sort of around 2016-17, Dave Pratt was a massive player for us for work rate. He used to create so much by the fact that he would run down lost causes. He'd win a pen. He'd take a foul. He'd chip in with a goal. But I mean, the amount of assists he put on a plate for Andy Sandell that year was unreal.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it?
Brad Ash is the exact same player. He just don't stop, and
that's really nice.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for as a fan, isn't it? Really. Hard to wait 90 minutes.
Anyone who want to run that extra yard, I mean, it goes a long way with supporters all day long.
Number 4, and that is, where are we? Oh yeah, if God were here, faith question, if God were here right now in your, wherever you are in your front room there, Simon, what would be one thing you would ask? If the Lord Almighty said, hello, Simon.
Firstly, how did you get in my living room?
Yeah, but that's a given because he's
that's a given. But yeah, he's omnipotent. He can get anywhere. You'd be really difficult to limit it to one thing, wouldn't you? I suppose the obvious is, why do bad things happen? Why is there suffering? Why is there pain?
Yeah.
But then you kind of, in your own head, answer that, without suffering and pain, there can be no joy and happiness. I suppose you need the yin and yang. I really don't know.
Yeah,
I'd probably ask him if heaven was real. Actually, I think that's probably the one I'd ask and get the answer to. Is there life after death?
That's really good, mate. I like that. I mean, the pain. Why does pain exist? That's a complex question. But that one, does heaven exist, mate? That's fantastic. And what does it look like?
I'll say that. Or even just if there's life after death, because I know that there have been times where I've been on a path of maybe less than righteousness. If I knew there was something at the end of that, I might curb myself a little bit and be a bit better behaved.
Better motivator, isn't it? Better motivator. Lovely.
One less alcoholic beverage with dinner.
Yeah, exactly. If it gets your wings. Right, one last question, mate. Here we go. In my ball bag. This is it. The 5th question. Do you know? Okay, number 20. And it is a fun question. If you could break the world record for something, anything at all, what would it be?
But I'd probably want to do something that would be memorable for a long time to come.
So not sitting in the tub of beans then?
No, not sitting in a tub of beans. I could probably do that record. I reckon that most people could probably knock that out. I'd probably want to do something like, something that's a little bit out there, but something fairly kind of respected, like break the speed record or something like that. Anything along those lines that make you something that's elitist and champion. Maybe the richest man on the planet. Be the highest ever bank balance with Lloyd's TSB. That's the record I want to break.
Wow.
I'll take that one.
What would you do with it all then? What would you do with all that cash?
Well, you're asking a Chippenham fan what they do with all that money. I'd reinvest it, wouldn't I? Of course I would. I'd have to get involved. Maybe help Mr. Blackmore out a little bit. He's put a good shift in. Lend him a couple of G. Get some players in that Mr. Cook wants. Nice little bit of building up and sort of see if you could sort of help drive the club forward. I think that's one of the best things that I've sort of seen, without meaning to sound too soppy, over the last couple of sort of 6 to 9 months, certainly, where COVID's been in effect and the volunteering process has been largely what keeps the club afloat at this time.
Yeah.
It's really, really humbling to see how certain people do certain things, and Mr. Blackmore, Mr. Applegate, the board of directors, and how hard on top of their financial constraints they have to work.
It's true.
It's such a humbling experience for us that get to sort of see it, and maybe not so much that those that are sometimes sat at home and just the casual supporters that don't see just how much effort gets expended. It's
really
frightening how much time they put in.
I mean, since volunteering at the club a little bit, it's becoming chaplain now back in the summer. I've seen exactly like you said, and think, wow, it's incredible, isn't it? These guys who love the club, love the.
It's unreal. I mean, it's watching him down there on a Saturday morning. Like there's times where, because obviously before I've just moved back to Chippenham now, luckily, but beforehand I've been sort of travelling back and forward from Portsmouth for the last 16 years for games. But my mum was still working in the turnstile, so I was always there dead early, like 11, half 11, because she had to drive down and do all her stuff. And I used to watch him getting out there with a lawnmower, getting out there with a line painter, when he had the water duct and stuff that he was having to water the pitches and do all these bits and pieces. You just don't see chairmen do it. It's those bits beforehand. Yeah, it's exactly that. It's leadership. It's those bits beforehand that you never get to see when you turn up at 2:30 with your pint in your hand. You see him in the boardroom eating a sandwich or having a glass of wine. You think it must be very easy being a chairman of a football club until the lights go off, everyone goes, and then suddenly you're the last person standing there holding a mower again, doing the same job.
No, exactly. Yeah,
he's class. Can't speak highly enough of the bloke.
It's true. It's what you said to me is absolutely spot on. He deserves our respect, admiration, pat on the back.
He's got it all.
Thanks for that, mate. That's my 5 balls done. That's some great answers, mate. I really appreciate your time.
No problems at all, Wayne. It was a pleasure, mate.
All the very best to you and the family. And thank you so much for playing Eat My Goal. And take care.
No problem at all. You take care, Wayne. I'll see you soon.
Bye, mate.
Bye, mate.
Eat that! And another!